Last week, I read you a letter that a teacher wrote to parents. But the letter got me thinking, do you guys remember those days back in school? Teachers would make our lives so miserable that you'd rather climb a mango tree than attend class. You'd whisper one small word like this and bam! The teacher would start on you like you stole chicken. With you stupid person who gets 10%, you're also talking. No wonder your brother is vulgaring a border. And you like Vanaki. No, how has my brother entered these things? And you wouldn't even dare cry, because if you did, you'd just be making things worse. Who are you crying for? Am I your boyfriend? Wipe those tears before your big eyes fall out. Our teachers would show you a small mistake like this and they'd use your whole body to practice comedy. Even your own best friend would laugh at you, like they don't know you. So today I've come for teachers. Can you wrap your head around, Kaboozi, on things students wish teachers would stop doing? Some of us are the reason they invented the song, "You bang bang the table, you disturb the teachers, you have no manners." But I wish teachers knew that bang banging the table was our own way of growing up. I mean, how else would we learn if you hadn't bang banged the table? But those teachers didn't want to know how. They would abuse us. But for some reason, teachers also helped us build our esteem because, I mean, right now, there isn't a single insult that you can throw at me that can hurt me. But what? Potato head, toothpick legs, drum stomach. I already accepted my flamingo neck years ago. Probably we suffered. If you said it in Uganda, please leave a comment in the comment section. And you wouldn't even report them anywhere. How? Where? If you reported to the head teacher, the next thing you know, they'd be calling your father. And when your father comes, he just removes the belt and starts beating you in front of everyone at the school parade. And then you'd end up crying all the way from school to home. But luckily enough, social media is where we go to report these teachers so that they can learn some manners. So please share your experiences with teachers in the comment section below and let's teach these teachers some manners and tell them what we would like them to change. Before we continue, my sponsor has something to say to teachers. If you are a teacher and you're looking to start a podcast or a documentary about your school, just click on the link in the description. And if you are a movie producer and you're looking for a set to shoot your film, they can build any set that you want, whether it's a classroom, a courtroom, a hospital, a bedroom, any set, and they do it at very amazing rates. Here is my list of 7 things that I wish teachers knew. Number 1, stop abusing us over small things. I mean, one person cracks a very small joke, and for some reason the whole class is a bunch of fools, including innocent Agnes, who sits in the back of the class and has never done anything to anybody, whose voice you last heard in P1 is now suddenly also part of the bunch of fools. You do something very small, maybe you scratch your voice in class, and your teacher, they will explode on you like you stole her potatoes that were meant for lunch. And the thing that hurt the most is the fact that they would only generalize if something bad was done. For example, if a kid did something wrong, they would say that class is all full of monkeys. But if a student did something nice, they'd be like, why don't you be like her? And then for us students, when you generalize and say that teachers are poor just because Mr. X came to class wearing a torn coat, they would say that we are disrespectful, not all teachers are poor, blah, blah, blah. And just like that, double standards have entered the chat. Number 2, writing a whole textbook on the blackboard. Some teachers enter class, they greet you small, and then they go straight to writing on the blackboard like a mad dog is chasing them. No introduction, no summary, just chalk flying around like a roof in a rainy season. I think this is where we got our problem of overspeeding in this country. We learned how to twist our wrists so fast like Formula 1 drivers. Actually, teachers are some of the reasons why some of us write like we are fighting demons. You'd write until your fingers want to resign, but the teachers would not want to know. They would keep writing and writing and writing on the blackboard, like as if they are being paid per paragraph. And when the blackboard became full, they would start walking around to see if you missed a single word. And should they catch your book empty, you'd enjoy slaps. Number 3, turning an assembly into their own personal TED Talks. Now, assemblies were supposed to be simple. You come, you sing the national anthem, they announce the teacher on duty, They cane couplers and latecomers or noisemakers, and then you go to class. But some teachers, whenever they got a hold of that microphone, they would talk and talk and talk, like as if they're giving a TED talk in Kololo. One small announcement like this would turn into a full-blown conference. But you, the youth of these days, you don't have manners. You're going to go to hell. Before you know it, they're telling you about how the wife left with the neighbor. They're telling you about that borderman who refused to give them their balance of 500 shillings. 45 minutes in that morning sun. By the time you go to class, your brain is overheating. It is filled with marital problems, sugarcane stealers, village grudges. The syllabus is fighting for space with people's personal grudges. And then when they bring exams and you fail, somehow it is your fault. Number 4, recycling the same stories and jokes year in, year out. Some teachers had only one story to tell, like it was part of the syllabus. Year after year, term after term. By the time we got to senior 3, even the not so bright students knew the whole story word for word, including the part with the fake laughter. But when we were growing up in Tinder, there were so many monkeys. Gwe. Before you know it, you know all the characters, the storyline, including the sound effects. And they would even force the new students to learn these things by force. And the worst bit of it all, they would laugh at their own jokes like they were performing at a comedy store. And you wouldn't even be allowed to sleep because they would pinch you. Would be there thinking, Banange, when do we actually get to the part where we study? Imagine choosing books over story. That's how bad it was. And I'm sure kids are still suffering with that stuff up to now. Number 5, tying on you because you're good at something. If you are good at anything, your life would be over. Those teachers would use you like a black cavera. Whether it was debating or sports or music and drama, anything, you'd become school property. For example, there is this boy in senior 4 who used to run like a thief. Now, that boy represented the school, he represented the municipality and the district in every race. 100-meter race, they call him. 200-meter race, they call him. 300-meter race, they call him. Marathon, his face is there. He was all over the place. He would even dodge school just so he can avoid running. But those guys would look for him like stolen property. And every time he would win, they would give him glucose and a 1 bottle of soda. As if that glucose would replace his 2 legs. As if that 1 bottle of soda was going to recharge his legs like airtime. And if you are unlucky that you spoke good English, you'd become the school poster. Every event, they would call you to speak. Every visitor that came through to school, they would call you, Mbuyu, come and welcome our visitors. They would hunt you down the same way they would hunt a hare. During MDD, you'd be the main character, whether you wanted it or not. And if God cast you with a good voice, you would sing the national anthem until George Wilberforce Kakoma came to your dreams and threatened you. Teachers made us hate our talents. By the time you got out of school, your talent is annoying you. Number 6, separating us from our crushes. It's not a very easy thing to sit next to your crush, right? But the government did this very nice thing. And so you end up sitting with your crush during night preps. Now, of course, you don't have the courage to talk to them, but at least your shoulders are breathing the same air. And then you're there pretending to copy notes. Kumbe, in your heart, you're busy composing your wedding vows. And then out of nowhere, some teacher with kajanja comes and tells you, you, in a green t-shirt, go and sit somewhere else. Meanwhile, there's so many noisemakers in the back that are giggling and living their best lives. But for some reason, the teacher has only seen you. And then he'll go on to say something like, boys and girls are not supposed to mix unnecessarily. Of course, you roll your eyes and then you go to whatever seat that he has given you. But you're wondering, what is unnecessary about sitting with your future wife? What is unnecessary about love? When we are 35 and unmarried and our parents are harassing us for babies, we'll tell them it's the teacher's fault. They ruined our destinies. Right now would be very far. Number 7, minding your business. Teachers have no boundaries whatsoever. Here's a scenario. It's a Saturday evening. You've bathed. You've smeared yourself with your mother's Movit, the one that makes you glow. You have your fresh haircut of 2K, not your usual one of 500 shillings. You're seated with your crush, who you last saw in P4, and you're sipping on Stony. Because you're no longer afraid of Jinga. You're a big boy now. And your crush is sipping on Fanta and reminding you of how you are almost caught with the same answers for homework. And then you feel it, the heavy stare. And then you look up and it's your teacher. It is teacher Philbert with his black cape seated in the corner. Swallowing Katogo like he last ate on Thursday. You look at him, he looks at you, and then he smiles with this eye of, hey, I've seen you. Fast forward, Monday morning. He comes to class with this energy of, some of you were out there drinking Stony and Fanta over the weekend like CEOs. And then the whole class starts to murmur, and you look down, you're like, what is wrong with this teacher? And then from then on, your life changes. Every time someone wants a pen, the teacher will say, why don't you go and ask your friend? I mean, if he can surely afford a Stony and a Coca-Cola, surely he can afford an extra pen. He sees you seated with a girl. He threatens to report her to your girlfriend in front of the whole class. If you raise your hand to give an answer, he's like, oh, even the public figures can speak. Just know that one weekend becomes your whole identity. They start knowing you as the person that goes out, as if supporting the economy is a crime. And he doesn't even mind about how you worked so hard for your money. He's only there just yapping like a paid politician. Can you wrap your head around this, Kaboozi? Please like, comment, subscribe, and share so that teachers can see this and change their ways. Until next week, mwah.